question here from 44 Johnson on our Periscope feed, which, by the way, you can put in comments on Periscope. You can tweet us at Score North. Leave comments also on Facebook as well. We'll get to the best ones we see. What is the biggest issue on offense? The following: Kirk, the O-line, or the play calling? Which one is the worst? I know all of them kind of go hand in hand, but to you, at the end of the day, which one's making the biggest difference?
I think it's the offensive line right now, and then very closely followed by Kirk. I've been outspoken in not thinking Kirk Cousins is good, but he doesn't have a chance at the time being. Now, if he had a chance, he would be the biggest issue because he still wouldn't be good. But you can't expect him to be really good at this point, just with how bad that offensive line is. It's difficult to think he's just going to be the guy that can go win you a game when he doesn't have time to do so. Now, that being said, even if he did have time, I don't think he'd be getting it done. He's not a franchise-type quarterback. The Vikings overpaid him. They made a mistake with that contract. But I think the offensive line is the biggest problem on this team right now. Judd?
And every one of Kirk's warts gets shown up now. He holds
They're
on
magnified.
The ball. Yes, he holds on the ball too long. That's a problem. He is fumble prone. And by the way, has been since the day he got in this league.
Yeah.
It's magnified. There was one fumble by Kirk today where it literally looked like a basketball play where he was just giving up the football.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what he was doing. But yeah, this whole thing is so screwed up right now.
Yeah.
And you know what? Again, they'll play a team that's not as good as Chicago, and we'll try to say, oh, it looks like it's getting better. But the reality is it's not.
Nope.
To win a Super Bowl, to win in the playoffs, forget Super Bowl, to win you've got to beat good defense.
Is there any scenario right now in which you can foresee that this team wins a playoff game, Judd?
No. I'm telling you, the goal now, if you're a diehard, should be, can they get to the playoffs just to lose?
Does trading for Jalen Ramsey still make any sense?
Double down on defense.
Yeah, I mean that's your only hope, right?
Actually, it does. It makes more sense now than ever. Now there's probably, you could say, well, they're probably sort of cooked. Like they might make the playoffs, but they might not.
Yeah.
But they're in that sort of in between.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're Spielman and Zimmer and if you're up against it, job security wise as they probably are, the Jalen Ramsey scenario, to go back to that, is the one where you say, because you can't give up points.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense.
You gave up 16 points today. Again, 16 points, you should win the football game.
Mm-hmm.
But if Jalen Ramsey was in your secondary, would the Bears have
how many
scored
points
that first touchdown?
How many points did the Bears score today? I mean, and the one thing I do have to really give the defense credit for is after that fumble on the first play of the third quarter by Cousins, they stood up and they forced a field goal. That was their biggest win of the day, was that possession where I don't know if Chicago even gained positive yards on that possession. That was the biggest win of the Vikings defense today, was that one.
But if you had that guy at cornerback now,
how does that change the equation?
And Rhodes is gone, are you now down to, you give up 6 points?
Maybe.
Because you could probably win that game if you give up 6 points.
You then kick the extra point, you probably win 7-6.
None of it's ideal.
No.
And it's all ugly, but the point being is, if you wanna get this, if you're Mike and Rick, you want to assure that when New Year's Day 2020 hits, that you're still employed,
mm-hmm.
that might be your option.
And what could be the best handle on this Twitter and Periscope? 10,000 Beers says, Judd, tell us there's hope, please. Judd, talk to me. Is there any hope for this Viking season right now, Judd?
Not against good teams, no. You lost to Green Bay, you lost at Chicago. No, you should. There is hope that this team has taken the mantle, as far as I'm concerned, of the Wild.
Oh,
the Furious Rallies?
They're Furious Rallies. They did it in perfect form. You know what? Kirk is the perfect Wild player, because when he's up against it and it's crunch time, in the sense that hope is lost, who is better than Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
He puts up phony stats, and at that point in time, he looks competent, and the Cousins defenders, I mean, this is very Wild-like, right, you guys?
Oh, totally.
This is them.
He'd hang on to the puck.
But it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But you end up here's where I think, if you're a fan, here's where you know that you're done. If you grow to despise the home team. And what we saw today was despicable.
Yeah, it was terrible.
They deserved
indefensible.
When they went for 2 and you thought, oh my goodness, could they onside kick it now and come back?
And the onside kick wasn't half bad.
What you should have been thinking as a Viking fan was, I sure to God hope not, because they don't deserve this.
No.
They don't deserve this. They're not.
They didn't. No one on that roster deserved to win today.
It's not a likable team right now. It's not a team that you can say, man, look at that fight. No, it's a bunch of BS.
Yep.
This was a despicable performance by a team that's becoming, unfortunately for them, more despicable.
Do you see the Holden wants to know? Holden Ryder at Holden Ryder 98 and tweet us at Score North. Thank you for his answer.
I feel bad.
I'm sure the
I feel bad.
10,000 beers
10,000 beers, I feel bad.
have
Judd
probably turned
wants
into
some of 'em.
10,001 beer.
Are we talking 10,000 Surleys? What are we talking?
Yeah,
Okay.
true. The beer does matter.